Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elder that came before them, that taught us his truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Aquath that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,001 third, the hopeful elect of Israel, and the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start right here. Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Russians, or Salakia the Medes, who are the Russians, against them. Them is Babylon. Babylon is America, and by proxy, by extension, as an ally to NATO, right? That would be, we'll put it this way, the Russians know who they're fighting against, right? They're fighting against follow the money. Everybody knows how much money is being poured into Ukraine by who? By Babylon, all right? So the Medes, right, are stirred up. With that, let's just jump into this. I think it's live right now. You can see the feed rolling. Snowstorm. Ukraine retreats from Novomykolivka. All right. I think Canadian Prepper tried to say that the other day. Pincers, I believe that's a tank. Military summary. So let's just jump in and see what they're saying. We'll let this play for a while, and that'll be the update. Just see what this guy is saying.
But we see that the Russians managed to complete the battle for Novomykhailivka, or to start without the northern attack. Or maybe today the Ukrainians will move some reserves to the south, trying to stabilize the situation of Mikhailivka, and the Russians on the north will use this opportunity and they will continue offensive, or at least the Russians will start their movements from the north just with the purpose not to allow the Ukrainians to redeploy their reserves from the Zverinets fortification, from Pobeda and so on. And don't forget that during the previous days, the Russians managed to concentrate and capture the eastern positions in Novomykhailivka, and we also can expect at least another point of pressure from this direction with the same purpose, not to allow the Ukrainians to redeploy their forces, not to allow them to be flexible. And something tells me that this is going to be the first cauldron of 2023, because Bakhmut wasn't a cauldron, but maybe Novomykhailivka is going to be a first cauldron in this special, even maybe, let's say, Mariupol was the first one, Novomykhailivka maybe will be the second real cauldron, not a very big one, but just for some few hundreds of soldiers, but, you know, now we are moving to Avdiivka direction. According to the Ministry of Defense of Russian Federation, as a result of clashes on Donetsk area, the Ukrainians lost 220 soldiers, 9 armed vehicles, including 190 soldiers, 7 armored vehicles, including 1 Bradley, and 6 artillery systems. As we discussed, the main Russian attack, the main Russian progress take place along Pervomayska, and the Russians are trying to get as close as possible in direction of the main supply road, one of the 3 roads that Ukrainians use to support their forces and garrison in Avdiivka. And we're talking about the line Umanska-Nitailova. The Russians are getting closer. The Russians have natural barriers from the south in face of these water reservoirs, and the same story to the north. Another river or something like that goes on the north of Russian positions in Pervomayska that also protects the Russians from Ukrainian counterattacks while they're moving to the western direction. So when talking about this territory, also everything goes and develops in Russian favor, and the Russians probably also will collapse Pervomayska much earlier in comparison with Avdiivka or the northern part of Avdiivka. When talking about northern part, about chemical plant, of course, the situation develops obviously in Ukrainian favor. We can talk a lot about Russian counterattacks, about the Stepova, Berdych, about the railways, but the facts are saying that Ukrainians control this situation. Maybe that was the Russian original plan, to force the Ukrainians to collect and concentrate as much as possible forces, as many as possible brigades in this area, and not to allow the Russians to encircle Avdiivka. Meanwhile, the Russians have almost collapsed Krymki, Novomikhailivka, Bakhmut, Ivanovska, Sinkovka. So the Ukrainians will save one city, Avdiivka, but they will lose the entire combat line, starting from Kherson and ending somewhere in the Kupiansk direction. And now we are moving to Bakhmut area, where we got also lots of very interesting details and updates. So the Russians continue their offensive operation in direction of Klishchiivka.
So as you can see, this guy has got very detailed information. Now, the question is he on the side of the Ukrainians or is he on the side of the Russians? And listen to his voice and you can't tell because they're the same people. But is this propaganda? All right, because anybody can say anything they want to, but it's an update, it's news, and what you do is you chew the meat and spit out the bone. All right, and that's basically the update. We all know, okay, what this says. See, I will stir up the Medes against them. If God, see this I right there, that's the Most High, Yahweh, Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, right? If the Most High is stirring up the Russians, who do you think's going to win? Pretty self-explanatory, is it not? All right. So we're going to end it right there. All right. We already know who's going to win, right? Just like we know, okay, we know who's going to win that war in Eastern Europe. We know who's going to win in the battles that are going on in the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, because it tells you right here. And then, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 31, and then shall the dragons, what dragon? The dragons of Arabia, have the upper hand, meaning they won. There it is, right? So we'll stay abreast. I'll read the whole thing. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, the nature of a wild man. Okay? And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power, to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. Okay? Who? Who shall flee? The Assyrians, or the Egyptians, or the Babylonians, or the good old red, white, and blue. All right? And it's all a puzzle, and if you don't have spiritual eyes, then you can't see it. But quickly, let me go back and give this channel is called Military Summary. It's live right now. Snowstorm, Ukraine retreats from Novomykhailivka. Hopefully I got that right. So anyway, yeah, go get updated right there. If you like ground information, there it is. With that, we hope the elect are edified. You brothers and few sisters, with that, we're going to say shalom.